The recent revelations concerning the Marcellus Shale natural gas formation and their implications for the city's future have largely gone undiscussed by the current administration and its predecessor's hand-picked candidate. Apparently, they either think nothing of it or think other matters are more important. I have thought of such things and believe they are extremely important. The Marcellus Shale is the largest gas shale formation in the United States, with an estimated 516 trillion cubic feet of gas. It represents one of the largest sources of domestically produced clean energy and a tremendous source for economic opportunities of which our cash-strapped city should at least attempt to take advantage. It takes 1 million gallons of water to service a gas drilling site. Binghamton is in the best position of any city in the region to supply those quantities of water to drilling companies and be compensated by them for it, providing the city with a source of revenue to offset the outrageous increases in city water rates recently and for upgrading the waterworks. An idea I'm developing is one that will allow city property owners to benefit from the gas beneath their property, just as rural residents do, but without having the surface of their property or their neighborhoods disturbed. In rural areas, gas companies are paying thousands of dollars an acre to owners for leasing rights. There are 8,043 acres within the city of Binghamton. Imagine the wealth that could be distributed to city property owners if the acreage beneath the city could be pooled on the owner's behalf by the city and then leased. Each parcel owner would get a pro rata share of lease proceeds based on their acreage. Since the city owns property, it would also get a share, and I would propose such funds go exclusively into a property tax reduction trust. Drilling could occur only on city-owned property, away from residential areas, and the royalties from any gas discovered beneath the city would be paid out in the same manner as lease proceeds. Of course, the county, state, and federal governments also own land within the city, and naturally there would be a process that would have to be worked out with them before any such arrangements could begin. But since it appears there will be little movement forward regarding Marcellus Shale development in New York until at least 2011, there is time to consider and further develop these ideas and proposals. Since my administration will not be bogged down in party politics, there will be more time for exploring such potentially lucrative endeavors. Policy will come before politics, not the other way around, and the principal beneficiary will be the taxpayer. What I believe has been wholly overlooked is the role low morale has played in decreasing city workforce productivity and, in turn, increasing costs to taxpayers. Based on my interactions with various members of the city workforce over recent years, it seems the current administration and its predecessor share a common management style. They speak to their people, but generally not to the people doing the bulk of the city's work. I am committed to changing that by visiting each major city facility monthly and holding a general meeting with facility staff. I will be able to hear directly from those actually doing the day-to-day work at these facilities about what they think can be done to improve the city's delivery of services, what I can do to improve the quality of their work environment, and I can tell them what I expect from them to improve what the taxpayers are getting from city government. I've been impressed by some of the ideas I've heard and dismayed that these ideas disappeared somewhere on the way to the top of the city's food chain. When I am mayor, such ideas will not disappear on the way to the top. They will go straight to the top, and everything that can be done to implement them will be done. For instance, while I was touring the sewage treatment plant, I noticed the huge quantities of water flowing there. I asked whether anything was being done to harness the enormous potential in that flow through the use of turbines. I was advised there were indeed ideas, but no actions had been taken by the political leadership. I further asked how much we pay NYSEG to power that plant. The answer was $1.1 million. Then I asked if the turbines were in the water, solar panels were on the roof, and the methane generated from the waste currently dissipating in the atmosphere was recaptured, to what extent could the plant become energy independent? The answer was 85%. That would represent a yearly savings of $935,000. What would the cost be to install that energy-saving technology? I was told $5 million. So at nearly $1 million savings a year, the improvements would be paid for relatively quickly. And of course, after that, the savings could go right into the pockets of ratepayers, used to improve the plant or both. Obviously attractive propositions. When ideas that would make such propositions possible are ignored or quashed, worker incentive to come up with more of them is chilled. That makes for lower productivity and conveys a sense to city workers that what they are doing doesn't matter that much. Binghamton taxpayers need the exact opposite of that in city government, and I assure you, in my administration, that is the way it will be. If an individual has a good reputation, good things are more likely to happen for them. If they have a bad reputation, they need to rely mostly on luck. Binghamton can no longer rely on luck. The 2010 census will show Binghamton lost upper and middle income population. It will be the fourth such census in a row. If the 2020 census is to show an end to that trend, the city must establish the kind of reputation that inspires confidence in upper and middle income people, a reputation based on safety and cleanliness. Accordingly, my goal is to establish the city's reputation as the safest and cleanest city in upstate New York, because I believe from such a reputation, all the good things people want to see, like new families, new businesses, and new investment will flow. That will be accomplished by getting the city's priorities straight, putting necessity before luxury, and doing the not-so-glamorous but important things city government ought to be doing exceedingly well over a sustained period. Only someone with a proven long-term commitment to the city and political independence is suited to lead that effort. I am the only candidate that is such a person. None of what I have proposed can become reality if voters are too afraid to break out of merely switching back and forth between the major parties, who have thoroughly demonstrated no ability to bring Binghamton to where it ought to be. No doubt, both will be stoking that fear. Party interests are very different from those of the people paying the freight, and the people must recognize that and reject the party interest-driven politics that have damaged the city before the damage becomes irreparable. The way to do that is by electing independent political leadership now. In spite of all the problems besetting it, Binghamton still has a lot to offer, but only by playing to its strengths will it compete and win. The local political class dominated by the major parties has repeatedly proven it cannot and will not do that. I can and I will do it. My policy decisions will be guided by my constituents' desires and the dictates of my conscience, not party politics. I will work with anyone that has good ideas and against anyone with bad ideas. For many years, I've offered ideas about improving the city, not just when it came time to run for office, because I actually care about it. People know the difference between those with Binghamton in their heart and with politics in their heart. That is the difference between me and the other candidates and what will set my administration apart from the current one and its predecessor. Among the local political class and beyond, there is fear that you are on the verge of breaking free of the stranglehold they have so long had upon you. In a desperate attempt to prevent that, they will say or do anything in the coming days to infuse you with that fear, including going back one more time to the tiresome line about throwing your vote away. I urge you not to give in to that fear. Stand strong and you will get the change you want and that the city has so long needed. Give in and you will get the same old end to the same old political story, which spells death for our hometown. To those who want to listen, who want to see and understand what is killing Binghamton, I say, if you want to live, come with me. Let's consign the discredited party machine politics of the past to the ash heap of local history where they belong. Let's forge a new political alignment in Binghamton among independent members of all parties and have not just a change of faces in City Hall, but a change in philosophy that puts the people paying the freight first. Together, let's make Binghamton's new beginning.